Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to our science class. I hope you all are safe at your place. Students, let's continue chapter number 13 Reproduction in Plants. Students, now we are going to start our new topic, and the name of topic is sexual reproduction in plants. As we know that plants show two modes of reproduction. One is asexual mode of reproduction and the another one is sexual mode of reproduction. Students, in this video we will discuss about sexual mode of reproduction. As we know that in the process of sexual mode of reproduction, flowers are involved because they are reproductive part of the plant. In this, the fusion of male and female gametes will take place, as a result of which zygote will form that will be able to form the new plant. Students, in order to know about the sexual reproduction in plants, it is very important to know the different parts of the flowers. Let's discuss the parts of a flower. Flowers vary in size, shape and color, but all flowers have the same basic parts. Students, the main parts of flowers are pedicel and thalamus, calyx or sepals, corolla or petals, androecium or stamens, and gynoecium or pistils. These all are the main parts of flowers. Now, pedicel and thalamus. The flower is borne on a stalk that is called pedicel, and the uppermost end of the pedicel that is swollen. This swollen part of pedicel is known as thalamus or receptacle. It bears all the four roles of a flower. Now, calyx or sepals. The outermost roll of a flower is known as calyx. It consists of leaf-like structures called sepals, and sepals are normally green in color. Calyx also protect the flower during the bud stage. Now, corolla or petals. Corolla is the second roll of a flower. Each segment of the corolla is known as petal. Petals are usually bright colored due to the presence of some pigments. Students, the bright color, sweet smell, and nectar that attract the insects for pollination process. Now, androecium or stamens. It is the third floral roll which is composed of one or more male reproductive organs that are known as stamens. Students, each stamen consists of a thin stalk that is called filament and two lobed head that is called anther. Stamen is anther and filament. Anther and filament, they are connected by the connective tissue. Each anther lobe has two pollen sacs which are filled with pollen grains, and pollen grains are very small in size and take part in the process of reproduction. Next is gynoecium or pistils. Gynoecium is the fourth roll of a flower which is composed of one or more female reproductive organs, that is carpels. Carpels that are consist of an ovary, style and stigma. It means stigma, style and ovary, that is the part of carpel, and the stigma is the terminal part of the pistil. It is sticky, rough and hairy. Stigma is responsible for receiving the pollen grains during the process of pollination. The style is the thread-like structure which connects the stigma with the ovary. It is mainly for raising the level of the stigma. Students, this is the female part of the flower, and the basal swollen part of the pistil that is known as the ovary. Ovary bears ovules on a swollen tissue that is called placenta, and each ovule contain the female reproductive cell that is known as egg. Students, now we will discuss about the types of flowers. There are two types of flowers. One is bisexual and the another is unisexual. Bisexual flowers that contain both male and female reproductive parts. They are known as bisexual. For example, hibiscus and rose. As you can see, they contain male reproductive part, that is androecium, as well as the female reproductive parts, that are gynoecium. So they are known as bisexual flowers. On the other hand, papaya flowers, as you can see, there are two types of flower that contain male reproductive part and the other flower that contain female reproductive part. Similar is the case with the watermelon flowers. The flowers which are containing either male or female reproductive parts, that are known as unisexual flowers, in which either male part, that is androecium, or female part, that is gynoecium, is present. Artificial method of propagation. Students, this topic I had explained you earlier in the previous video. Now let's start the reading of this same topic from our textbook. Vegetative propagation is a fast, simple and cheaper method to produce a number of plants of pure line. Vegetative propagation, it is a very fast method, it is the economical method, it is the time saving as well as the money saving method to produce a number of plants of pure line. It means the plants will be just similar to their parent plant and there will be no disease in the new individuals. It is nowadays commercially used in the floriculture, horticulture and agriculture to multiply plants of required characteristics. Nowadays, it is used for the culturing of flowers, vegetables in the agriculture so that we can multiply the plants having the desired characteristics. Some of the techniques employed are, there are some of the techniques which are employed in the artificial method of vegetative propagation are grafting, cutting, layering and tissue culture. First of all, we will discuss about grafting. This method is commonly used in horticulture to develop new and better varieties of fruits like citrus fruits, guava, mango. This method is used for the development of fruits, for example like citrus fruit, guava, mango. These all we can grow by the method of grafting. In this method, two plants of desired quality that are selected for grafting. We have to select two plants which are having that qualities which we want. A bud or a twig containing bud of one plant is tied in the cut stem of other plant. A bud or a twig which is containing the bud of one plant and it is attached to the cut stem of another plant. After some time, the tissue of the two parts grow and join together to form one plant. Students, this is the figure of grafting. This is the part of one plant and this is the part of another plant. When we join it with the help of the bandage, then it will act as a new one plant. After some time, the tissues of both plants will grow and they will join together and it will form the one plant. Next is the cutting method. In this method, healthy young branches bearing leaf buds are cut off from the plant and planted in the moist soil. This is very simple method. In this, young branches which is having the leaf bud, they are cut off from the main plant and planted in the moist soil. Cutting develop roots and buds and grow into new plant. That cutting which we bury in the moist soil, that will develop the roots and buds and grow into the new plants. This method is used to propagate sugarcane and a number of ornamental plants which we normally grow for the decorative purpose like champa, Raat ki Rani, henna, bougainvillea, crotons, money plant, coleus and chrysanthemum. These all are ornamental plants which we can grow by cutting method. This is the figure 13.12 developing roots from a stem cutting in dahlia. This is the stem which we cut and bury in the soil and from these portion new roots are developing. Next is the activity 13.5. Cut a small young leafy branch of money plant and put the cut part into a tumbler of water. You have to cut a small young money plant which is having the leafy branch and put the cut part into the tumbler, into the container which is having the water. Observe and note the number of days in which roots develop. You have to observe the number of days in which roots will develop in that tumbler. Students, you can also grow a cut branch of chameli with nodes into the soil. Water it regularly and observe its development. At first, leaves may wither, but soon new leaves will develop. In starting, leaves will fall, but suddenly, after some time, new leaves will develop. So, in this way, we can grow money plant as well as the chameli. Next is the layering. In this method, young basal branch is bent towards the ground and some part of it is covered with moist soil to form a layer. In this method, young branch that is bent towards the ground and some part of this branch is covered with the moist soil to form a layer. After some time, roots develop from the covered portion. Students, the portion which we had covered from where roots will develop, and cut it from the parent plant. After its development, you have to cut it from the parent plant and it will act as an independent plant. Large number of branches can be layered from a healthy plant. You can layer large number of branches from a single plant, and this method is used to propagate plants like jasmine, vines, roses, bougainvillea. These are the example of plants which we can grow by the layering method. This is the figure 13.14. Layering is done. In this, the branch is bent towards the ground and it is covered with soil from where the new roots will get arise. Explore more. Tissue culture is the advanced technology in which large number of plantlets are grown in laboratory by culturing a small piece of tissue of desired plant. Tissue culture is the advanced method in which large number of plantlets that can be grown in the lab by culturing a very small piece of tissue of the healthy plant, in which we will grow a small part of the plant in the laboratory and it is given very much care, and after that new plant will arise from that cultured piece of the plant. This is known as tissue culture. Nowadays many crop plant, many ornamental plants produced in large number with the help of tissue culture. For example, sugarcane, orchids, dahlia, chrysanthemum. These all are the examples which are produced by the tissue culture method. Now, what are the uses of vegetative propagation? It is a simple and fast method of multiplication. It is very simple and very time saving method to increase the number of plants. New plants are exact copies to the parent plant. New plants are just similar to their parent plant because they are produced by only single parent. There is no variability in the plants. There is no changes which we observe in the plants. Plants are devoid of any seed-borne diseases. Plants do not have any seed-borne disease because there is no involvement of the seeds. Plants produced by vegetative propagation take less time to grow and bear fruits and flowers. Plants which are produced by vegetative propagation method, they take very less time for their growth and they have fruits and flowers. Healthy mother plants can be selected to raise the new plant. We can select healthy mother plant so that the new plants will also be the disease free. Sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction takes place by the fusion of male and female gametes produced by male and female reproductive organs. Students, there are two types of organ. One is female and the another is male. From male reproductive organs, male gametes will arise, and from female reproductive organs, female gametes will arise. And by the fusion of male and female gametes, sexual reproduction take place. Most often, two parents are involved in sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction has its own benefits. In the sexual reproduction, there are many benefits. It causes mixing of characters of two organisms in one. Because there is the involvement of two parents, so there will be the mixing of characters of two organisms in just one. It results in greater variability because there is the involvement of two parents and there is the mixing of two characters, so there will be the chances of great variations in the organisms. New plants with new characters can be grown which are better adapted to changing conditions of environment. New plants with new characters will come and there will be the very great chances of variations, and due to this they will be able to adapt themselves according to the changing environmental conditions. Now we are going to discuss about flower, a reproductive organ. Flower is considered as a reproductive organ. In flowering plants, flower are the reproductive organs. A flower consists of floral parts. There are many parts of the flower like sepals, petals, stamens and pistils. Sepal and petals, they are non-reproductive part. It means they do not play an important role in the process of reproduction. Stamen is the male reproductive part. Stamen, which is considered as the male reproductive part, it consists of a long slender stalk called filament. Here, this is the stamen, and in this there is a long structure which is known as the filament, and the upper bulb-like structure is known as anther. At maturity, anther lobe produce a large number of pollen grain. When the anther lobe get mature, then it produce a large number of pollen grains. And pollen grains produce male gametes on the germination. When pollen grain will germinate, then they will produce the male gametes. This is the structure of flower, students. These green structures that are sepals, this is the stamen, and this is the complete structure of pistil, which consists of stigma, style and ovary. These colored structures are known as petals. A pistil is the female reproductive part. It consists of apical swollen part stigma, middle long part style and the basal part ovary. Ovary contains one or more than one ovules, and at maturity female gametes which are known as eggs that are produced inside the ovule. There are two types of flowers, unisexual and bisexual. A unisexual flower which contain either male part or female part, or which contain either stamen or pistil. For example, papaya, corn, gourd family. A flower with only stamen, that is staminate, and a flower with only pistil, that is called pistillate flower. A bisexual flower that contain both stamens and pistils. It is also called hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodite flowers are those flowers which contain both stamens and pistil. For example, China rose, rose, petunia, these all are the bisexual flowers. My dear students, read the explained topic from your textbook and underline important points. We will meet in next video with many more new topics. Till then, goodbye. Have a nice day.